welcome to the Crafty Historian podcast, episode number 39. My name is Rachel, and if you are new here, thank you for taking some time to check out this little corner of the crafty internet. I have recently completed a Master's in Public History, and I'm currently job searching, but also considering a PhD, so, you know. History is a big thing to me, hence the name for the Crafty Historian podcast. Thank you for everyone who is coming back again. Your continuing support means a lot to me. Yeah. So it's been about 2.5 weeks, I think, which is good for me since I last recorded. I had intended to record on Tuesday, but then I got an email that I had an interview. So I was preparing for that instead, and it is now Saturday. So I had intentions. The intentions didn't necessarily play out. But if you want to follow me, you can find me on Ravelry as RachelRavenclaw and on Instagram as RavenclawRachel, though I'm not particularly active on social media at the moment, and I'm not sure why. So yes. But anyway, if you do want to take a look at my social media, they are some variation on my Hogwarts house, Ravenclaw, and my name, Rachel. So yeah. It is the 5th of October. Yeah. I have watched the rugby this morning. It was a little bit dodgy. Owen Farrell needs to work on his kicking foot by the looks of things, but it was a win, and that's what we needed. So I think we have now qualified. It's just whether or not we win the pool, so we've qualified for knockout, but it's whether or not we win the pool or if we're runner up of the pool. It'll depend on how our match with France goes next weekend, I do believe. But yes, shall we do some knitting and not talk about the Rugby World Cup? Because that seems to be all I'm doing at the moment, is the rugby's on and I'm doing knitting, so that's what we're going for. So yeah, I'm going to start off today with what I am wearing. This is not my jumper, even though it's pretty much the same colour, but I am wearing my Sock Set Shawlette. So this is a pattern that I designed to be used for a sock set, so 100 grams of fingering weight yarn and a 20-gram mini skein. So it's a nice shallow crescent shape with lots of garter and some very simple lace and stripes. I'm going to be knitting another one of these for a Christmas present, and I want another one of these for myself. So if anyone wants to join in, we could maybe do a sock set shawlette along. A shawlette along. Maybe. It's been out for a while, and yeah. Maybe if people are looking for quick gift knits, this might be a good place to start. I will link it down below. So yes. The yarn I used was Beehive Yarns in the Take the A Train colourway, so that's this sort of variegated green with the purpley spots. And then the contrast mini was also Beehive Yarns, and I believe they were called Blackberry Lips, much like mine are today. So I feel very coordinated. So yeah. I have a finished object for you this week, and it's one that you haven't seen. So I've knit these entirely in the 2.5 weeks. They are, of course, another pair of socks, and they are gift knits. So these are for my sister. She has a birthday in December, just like me, as well as Christmas, so I have knit 2 pairs of socks for her so far, this in the past couple of months, and this is the most recent one. So it was a toe up construction with just a wrap and turn heel. These were done on 50, I don't know why that safety pin's there. I didn't drop any stitches. I think it was so that I could count the cuff. But yeah, so 56 stitches on a 2.5mm 9-inch circular, the wrap and turn heel, a toe up wedge toe, and 15 rows of 2x2 rib with some sort of stretchy bind off. I don't know the names of them. I found it on Pinterest and I follow it. It was just called a stretchy bind off. It involves yarn overs. But yeah, so another pair of socks. The yarn I used here was Pixel Atlantis. So Rosie of Pixel Atlantis, she gave me this yarn, and I believe it's called Delivering Harry. So a lovely Harry Potter inspired colourway there. My sister doesn't like stripy socks apparently, so she chose this, and I feel the mustard goes really well with it. So not sure what else to say. I do churn out vanilla socks quite quickly, as we found out that these have generated, they've come into existence in 2.5 weeks. But also, I believe it was whichever one I just took the safety pin off of. I had a toe at the beginning of the day, and by the end of the day I was up to the cuff. It was a good day of rugby and knitting watching. So rugby watching and knitting. I think I also watched Sanditon and World on Fire as well. But yes, I went all the way from the toe all the way up to the cuff with the heel in the middle. I think it was this one. I can't remember. But yeah, I knit the entirety of this all in one day. Seriously, if you have, if you hold your needles on top like this, and you take your hands off to throw it, try 9-inch circulars. I find I didn't have to manoeuvre my hands much, but then I do have a tendency, even when I'm on long needles, to stick my pinkies out like I'm drinking a cup of tea. Apparently, my sister told me I do that when I'm driving as well. So I'm holding the steering wheel with my fingers stuck out. Maybe that's why she's scared to get in the car with me. But that's another matter. Yeah. A pair of socks, and that's another one to tick off my gift list. Woo! Because if you're unemployed, you might as well A, use your stash, and B, get ahead on the Christmas gift list to save panic knitting in December, when I will hopefully have a job by then. Who knows? So that is that. Now we're going to take a walk into the WIP list and see what we've got going on. Right. I have 2 new cast-ons and 2 returning projects. The first one I'm going to show you is very close to finishing. I've just moved it into my Littlebushbabymakes bag. So this is a book, I think it's meant to be a book bag, so you're meant to carry your book in it. I have done that, but I'm using it for yarn at the moment. And these are my You Win or You Die socks. So my Game of Thrones socks, which we were knitting concurrently with the final season. Say what you will, I didn't mind it as much as other people have, but well, let's not have an argument about that. So the You Win or You Die cowl, you chose however many characters you wanted to. I chose 10. I chose the 10 female characters that were remaining in the show at the beginning of season 8. And you knit a colour. So you assign them, each of the 10 characters a colour, and you knit however many rows. I did 2 rows for each character if they appeared in the episode, 1 if they didn't appear but are assumed alive, and then you figured out a way to remove them and signify that they had died if they died. So yeah, it's been several months now, but I'm finally got the bulk of them done. The stripes are done. So here we go. So as you can see at the top, I started with 10 colours with my 10 characters, and then all the way at the end we ended up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 alive, because although Danny was in the final episode, she died. So yeah, it's, at the moment, they are just tubes. I need to look up how to do afterthought heels again and watch a couple of tutorials. Then I can stick those in, and then that will be done. And then all I have to do is weave some ends in. I'm fine, honestly. It'll just be a case of sitting down and getting into a rhythm of it, I feel. As I mentioned, I think it was last this episode, I don't mind weaving in ends as long as I've got enough of them. I think this qualifies as enough of them. I'm keeping them long at the, well, I might, so I believe, yeah. So this is where the heel is going to go in, and it goes in on episode 3 here. So what I might do is I might weave in episodes 1, 2, 4, 5 and 6, and only have these bits done, so that then gives me time to get to grips with how an afterthought heel works, and it won't make the finishing task that long. And then you've just got this much to weave in. Oh, hang on, I'll only have that much as opposed to all of that much. I've already woven in number 1 of this one, so yeah, that might be an idea to do that. We'll see how that goes. These are obviously on the back burner. As I said, I am focusing on gift knits at this point in time, so that if I can get them done, I won't have to reach creative burnout, hopefully. Yeah, you win or you die. I am currently winning. Yay! And I'll just put a heel in my black West Yorkshire spinners. A lot of these yarns were either from advent calendars or mini swaps, and if you want to have more information, I have pictures on my project page. Or you can go back a few episodes and I talk through my colour choices and what characters are which earlier on in a few episodes. So there. Socks are a go. And I'm knitting those on 60 stitches on 2.25mm needles. So slightly denser than the 2.5mm needles. The other project that I have brought over from last time is my Honey Bop cardigan. So this is a pattern by Amy Appel of Poison Girls, and I forgot to put in a progress keeper. Oh no, I didn't. I have got a progress keeper. So I have knit from Little BB-8 up here, which this is a Hannah, the Corner of Craft bead weaving one. This was part of a collaboration with Nora George Yarns Christmas 2017, I believe it was. And she did a Star Wars themed yarn, and Hannah made this little stitch marker. So BB-8 is keeping me company. And I have knit from there all the way down here since I spoke to you last, which I believe is I'd just joined after the armholes, something like that, or I was just about to join them. I have worked 1, 2, 3, 4 sets of decreases so far by the looks of things. Oh no, 5. That one's lost its marker. There's the marker. There we go. So yeah, again on the back burner a bit, but I really love this colour. This is a Nitpicks colour in their Stroll tonals. I believe it's called Heartfelt. Yeah. So Nitpick Stroll Fingering in the Heartfelt tonal. So I've got 4 of these and I am alternating skeins. So I've got 2 balls on the go currently. And yeah, I like a little bit of stockinette. It's just a simple V-neck cardigan. I'm going to omit the puffs on the sleeves. It's rolling in at the moment. I am a bit concerned at the moment that it's going to be a bit small. This could be because I put on a lot of weight through my dissertation, but I calculated when I chose the size, I chose negative 0 ease, not negative ease. I picked the size that gave me 0 ease. I think it recommends 2 to 4 inches of negative ease. I did a gauge swatch. I got gauge, but I'm still concerned that this will be too small. Maybe blocking will help it. Or maybe I just need to be a bit more careful about what I eat. Saying that, I've been on salads for about 2 weeks and I'm still putting on weight. I'm not eating chocolate. I'm not eating snacks. So maybe I need to go to the doctor's. Random tangent about my health. But yeah, you may not see this for a little while. It is currently an Aladdin vest. But it's definitely something that will work amazingly in my wardrobe when it's done. Some of my vintage skirts have this red in it, and one of the shirts that I made is white with red florals. I ironed it this morning. So yes, hopefully this will get done. But I am not putting any pressure on myself to do so. There's no deadline to it. And this one is living in my Tatty Designs bag because I cannot resist Winnie the Pooh. I love Winnie the Pooh. Oh. So this is one of the few project bag, I think, yeah, she says looking down, and actually I don't buy my project bags that much. I tend to sew them, but this is one that I bought and I love it for the fabric, and the drawstrings are really sturdy. I'm really impressed with this sort of rope. I feel like you could probably do some like mace damage with it, but you wouldn't want to do that because you probably hurt your knitting, or someone would get stabbed with the knitting needle and that would be messy, and I don't want to damage my beautiful Winnie the Pooh bag. So that tangent aside, Honeybot cardigan is still chugging along, and so now I have 2 new cast-ons to show you, one of which is a half object, and I have yet to cast on the second of this, and this is another gift, and this is a lovely little mitt. Now if you recognise this yarn, this is about the 3rd project I've done with this yarn. This is the yarn I used for my Bittersweet Jumper. by Vera Valimaki. So it's a similar colour to this. Can you see I have a colour scheme? I also did a Choose Your Cable Adventure hat by Nina Phillip, who's Knitting Expat Designs. I've decided that that is also going to be a gift hat because I have a burgundy hat. And this is also a gift knit. So gift knits galore with this yarn. I believe it was a James C. Brett DK with merino. It's this lovely sort of heathered purple. It's got some reds in it and some blues. I'm knitting the How Quiet mitts by Helen Stewart of Curious Handmade. So I actually got her, this is part of her Advent collection, Knitvent, that was what they called. So this was part of her Knitvent collection 2018, which I did buy when it came out. A little bit disappointed, but it's working its way out now, and I have knit this first mitt. If I had filmed earlier in the week, this wouldn't have even been cast on, because then this is another thing that I sat down and knit in a day. So it is an excellent pattern if you just want to sit and knit. It's very intuitive and it's quite simple. So I'm going to put this on for you. It's a DK weight pattern, and I have actually steam blocked it. As I mentioned, bizarrely, I was doing some ironing this morning, so I attempted some steam blocking because it was sort of, as you can see, we've got lots of some increases and decreases here. I won't give away how they worked because it's a paid for pattern, but the increases and decreases there were making it sort of a weird shape, and I didn't want to gift someone a weird shaping mitten. So I gave a steam blocking a go, which apparently just means pinning it out and blitzing it with steam, which I can do, and then obviously letting it cool. And yeah, it worked a treat. So I will probably go back and steam block the hem of my Bittersweet Jumper, because that is, it does shrink back up quite a lot, and I'd like it more pinned out like it is here. So yeah, it's got this lovely design on the front. It's just a flat palm, and I'm really quite proud of it that I've done it in a day. This charm here, if you can see, this little beaded heart is from Aileen of Littlebushbabymakes. This is in the Asexual Pride colourway, the Asexual Pride colours. Let's see if we can get that better. Your beads are too shiny, Aileen. But yeah, so the black, the grey, the white and the purple. And this is where I was at lunchtime. What did I do yesterday? Did I watch the rugby? Maybe. But I also watched a Taskmaster, 4 QIs and 3 knitting podcasts. And we got this done. Sometimes you just need time to sit and knit. I was sat by my phone waiting to see if I would get a call about this job, but we haven't heard anything yet, so wish me luck. So yeah, and this is going to be for one of my friends for her birthday, which is at the end of this month. I was going to do something else, but these are going quick enough. So I'll probably cast on the second one later today. Yeah, hopefully I'll podcast before I give them to you, before I send them off to her, so I can show you the finished pair. And I can experiment more with steam blocking. Yeah, easily pleased. So that is that one, and the final thing I've got, if you could guess, is another gift knit. Is living in this bag, which my mum bought for me at Fibre East this summer. And this is by Jibby Roo Sews, I believe. Yeah, so by Jibby Roo Sews. And this is a hat, because I love knitting hats, and hardly anyone wants to receive hats. So when someone said, yeah, I like hats, you are getting a hat for Christmas. Because there are some amazing hat patterns out there. And this is one of them. So this is the Ramble Hat by Shireen Nadir. And it's a lovely cabled and texture pattern, and it's a free pattern. I mean, I would have paid for this pattern. It's gorgeous. So I'm not sure how far off I am. I'm going to try it on. Okay, it's not too bad. And oh, we're blowing out terribly here. So you can see we've got this sort of line of cables and then the texture stitch in the middle. Some moss stitch. And so I'll probably do a few more repeats because I like to have mine that cover my ear. I've currently done 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Currently done 8. So I'll probably look at it again after 10 repeats. So 2 more to go before I start the decreasing. I think it has 12, but someone said they started decreasing after 8, and I haven't just tried that on. I was just like, no, need a couple more. Yeah, so this is some Stash acrylic. So it's not the best yarn to knit with, and it is making it quite stiff doing these cables. It's not necessarily quite nice to work with. It's just, I think it was a Women's Institute grey from Hobbycraft. I think someone gifted to me, and it was one of those where you go, yay, thank you, because they think, oh, she likes knitting, we'll give her some wool, but it not being wool. Anyway, it's having its purpose now, and yeah, it is going nicely, and it will be a gift, not for the person who gifted me the yarn, but for another friend. One thing I have been having some issues with is whenever I switch between doing the knits and then the pearls, this stitch here, I'm not sure if you can tell, is really loose on the other side. So the knit stitch here is always really loose, which means it's pulling. This is really obvious on this one here, I think. So you can see here, it almost looks like there are eyelet ladders before it goes into the knitting on this side. And so I've been trying to pull tighter. I tried that and it wasn't working. So I've been trying something different further up, and I'm actually knitting through the back loop on the last stitch of the cable. I'm finding that's worked really well to tidy up that laddering down here. Maybe it's just something to do with my own tension and my own knitting when I'm switching between knitting and purling. Even if I tug it really hard, I'm still ending up with that sort of gap, which is not necessarily the prettiest thing. But yeah, knitting through the back loop, if you get something similar to this sort of laddering, I would really recommend giving that a try, because it just tightens that stitch up a bit. So yeah, I'm knitting these on my 4mm Knit Pro Zings. I forgot to mention these are also knit on 4mm, but I'm using some wooden ones that I've got that were older than my Zings, because this was going before this was. So yeah. And that is a hat. Apart from that, I don't think I have been doing much else. No, I tell a lie. I've been knitting on my Cozy Memories blanket again because it is autumn and therefore blanket season is upon us. I promised you last time I showed my blanket that I would only show it when I hit 8 by 8. I have 2 more squares to do that. And then I get to sit down with all my minis and plot out the next loop. Or is it 7 by 7 I'm on at the moment? It might be 7 by 7. But whatever it happens, whenever I square it off, I will show you the blanket quadrants then. And I get to sit down and plan out where all of my next minis are going. I have a small mini skein collection going at the moment, which needs to be toned down a little bit, but that's what the blanket's for, and if I pay more attention to that blanket then that will be less of a problem. So yes, I have not been doing any sewing because my sewing machine is still in the study, which is less of a study and more of a dumping ground at the moment. Yeah, I haven't done any research for history for you today. I'm kind of giving my brain a break, she says, as much as my mother allows me to give my brain a break, because I am instead doing lots of job applications, which are kind of soul crushing and draining, but it will be worth it in the end. So yeah, I think that is everything I have to show you today. And yeah, this 2-weekly thing is definitely better as I'm looking at the timer, as this is only half an hour, and that is much preferable for me to edit and for you to watch, I believe. So yeah, hopefully I'll see you again in another 2 weeks. We'll see how that goes, and in that time I hope you have lots of knitting time and get cozy for autumn. And yeah, let me know down below if you're gift knitting, because I always feel crazy the fact that I am gift knitting at the beginning of October, but I've always found that it means that I have less stress closer to the time. Especially as I'm knitting from stash, it also means my Christmas will be a little bit cheaper in the long run, because I've planned out all of my gifts and I don't think any of them require me buying anything this year, which is a winner. So yeah, if you're gift knitting, let me know. And what was the other one? Yeah, if anyone wants to knit the Sock Set Shawlette with me, because that is one of the gift knits that I will be knitting, as well as more socks. So yeah, if either of those are something you'd like to do, let me know down below, and hopefully I shall see you again soon. Bye!